I have 4 points. First point, Zachaeus took the initiative to look for Christ. Somehow, as soon as we use our will to come towards Christ and seek Him, Christ answers. It's like you are in a boat, all right, and you love the water of life in the middle of the ocean. Water is everywhere, right? Right? Jump. You need to take the initiative to jump. If you don't jump, you're not going to be able to swim in the water of life. As soon as we direct our will and freedom to Christ, Christ becomes weak because He has to answer. He cannot help it. He's God. He's infinite. Second point. The tax collectors during the time of Jesus were considered sinners because they took money from their Jewish brethren and they gave it to the Romans. And in that culture of honor and shame, people were classified into different classes. Tax collectors basically were considered sinners, scum of the earth, bad people. And for Jesus, even to talk to a tax collector is as scandalous as you see the Pope in, forgive my language, a whorehouse. It's totally scandalous. We don't understand that here today in the United States. But that's how scandalous it was for Christ to talk to him. Do you understand that? Christ removed the social obstacle because the goal of Christ is the human person and the human person's salvation. We are the goal of Christ. All He cares about is you and your eternal destiny. Third point. Once Christ took the initiative to go towards Zachaeus, Zachaeus responded. How? Confession. Lord, I have done this and this and this and that. Zachaeus' confession was not a praise of what he has accomplished. He didn't come to Christ and said, I have been trying to be good, but I failed. Sometimes, a lesson for us from this gospel, when we go to confession, sometimes we go and list how good we were in certain things. That's hidden pride. Don't do that. When you go to confession, go in and say, I have sinned. I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am truly sorry. And what was the response of Jesus? Of course, forgiveness with no limit, no condition. Christ didn't tell Zachaeus, go change your life and come back, then I'll think about forgiving you. No. Today, salvation happened in this house, in the house of Zachaeus. Conclusion. Today, we are invited to seek Christ sincerely with the entire package that we have in our life. All of it. With everything who we are and with everything that we have done. We need to seek Christ and try to have a deep encounter. That deep encounter with Christ drove the saints who discovered it nuts. It drove somebody like Saint Teresa of Lisieux to live 8, 9 years in the monastery cold every day because of the sacrifices. It drove Simeon to live at a pillar with no roof on. Who lives in a pillar with no roof on? Would you like to try? You want to give it a shot? Go to the mountains of North Carolina and build a pillar and live on it for the rest of your life and don't talk to anyone except God? Good luck with that. It drove people like Mary Magdalene to change her way of life as instantly as she encountered Christ. It drove people like St. Anthony of the desert to come into the church, hear the gospel. If you want to follow me, leave everything and follow me. He was 25 years old. He took off and he lived 80 years in the desert. And trust me, in the desert, you are not going to find Dunkin' Donuts, coffee, and Comforts Inn and steak. You're going to be eating whatever is lying around. I invite you today, because many of us in the year 2100, we are not going to be around. Correct? 80 years from now. Many of us will not. This world will pass away. And all of its temptations, and all of its glory, and all of the pride is going to pass away. Today is the day of salvation. Before you leave the church today, just ask. Ask. Our journey, whether it's the Pope or the bishops or the priests or the deacons or the nuns, is not different than your journey. We wake up in the morning and we ask, Christ, just tell me what to do. What do you want me to do? Just tell me. I wish he has a FaceTime or something. He can do it. I mean, he's the one who created everything. Why doesn't he have a FaceTime? One of these days I would be arguing with him and having about that. But make it easy, man. God bless you all. I believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty.